Hello everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to the brand new romance series, Shades of Romance. Now, this is just an introduction video. We're just going to kind of go over a couple of things going forward for this particular video. And this entire video series, but we're going to start laying the groundwork for what's yet to come. Alright, but before we get into the groundwork, let's turn back the clock to the original romance series here on the channel, Surviving Romance. Now, Surviving Romance was a dedication to my estranged wife, okay? For those that are not familiar with it, the playlist for that series will be going away, but we're going to keep a lot of those videos up because a lot of you still watch them, okay? But for the most part, this is the series, I guess you could say, kind of taking the place of the old Surviving Romance series, which again was dedicated to my estranged wife. And what initially got me to do romance videos was the fact that the bulk of what I do on here is DIY content, and most of it's focused on cars. And the problem became is, like right now, this is, the beginning of February here in Missouri, and the weather is just not cooperating. So imagine, if you will, trying to do car content when it's rainy or snowy or it's just downright cold. It just doesn't work that way. I don't have a garage, I have so I needed other content, and it made sense at the time because my estranged wife kept crashing and blowing up vehicles, 3 in the first year of our marriage. Along with that, with the winter content and everything, bring something on that I knew people would enjoy, and I enjoy doing anyways, because I was already the romantic type, and, that entire series taught me a great deal about romance. Just when I thought I knew it all, I was learning something else. And so now today with this brand new series, I mean, a lot of you ladies out there, know me as, a lot of you tease and say that, Prince Magnum, that's Mr. Romance right there. And I do appreciate that. It does really make my day that y'all say that. And so much so, where I live, the county in the state of Missouri that I live in, St. Francis County, up until my estranged wife left, from 2015 all the way up until then, I was being named the most romantic husband in the county, unofficially, of course, but that was so all the way up until then, I was unofficially named the most romantic husband. So now that we've got that established, that it's something that I enjoy. Now the question remains: is this being dedicated to a new woman? Obviously, because you're not back with your estranged wife. The answer is yes, but currently right now, it wouldn't make sense to bring her on camera yet, all right? Just know that she exists, which brings me to one of the most important things. Now, when I initially kicked off Surviving Romance, it was a dedication to my wife, yes, but it was at the same time supposed to be teaching, as a teaching aid for guys, okay? And to kind of give you a little context to work with, I used to work the medical field, and I used to listen to a lot of gals. A lot of times I heard them griping about their other half. And I mean, when I say griping, he's nothing but a dirty, rotten so-and-so, he did this, he did that. And I oftentimes said I didn't want to be that guy. But usually it was about maybe once or at least every other week, the same gals would get together. Oh, guess what he did for me? Guess what he did for me? And it was so sweet and nice. And, the bragging rights that every woman should have. And some of us guys would even get together and share ideas, romance ideas. Well, obviously this is a thing of the past. And Surviving Romance was a way to share ideas with other guys. Most of the guys didn't watch Surviving Romance for that, which it was supposed to also be kind of a sharing ideas with the guys, things that I was learning. The guys didn't really watch it. There was a handful that did. There was a few of the guys that did. which some of those stories got back to me. A couple of guys were like, you know, I learned, you know, I learned this, did this for my other half. Thank you so much. You guys, some of you guys came back, and of course, I've even had some of you guys say that there was an awesome video, but I'll never do it. You know, I'm not interested in doing that for my other half. But honestly, the bulk of my viewers in the Surviving Romance series was mostly you Lady Mavericks. It was you ladies. You were the ones watching. And come to find out, you were vicariously living through my estranged wife, living that romance. Yeah. I recognize this, okay? I recognize this. So in this new series, again, the lovely lady, you know, that is in my life, she knows that she's the one reaping the rewards of the video, obviously. But these videos are going to be structured where you ladies can live vicariously in the videos as if you're enjoying the romance. At the same time, we're also going to be teaching, you know, I'm going to be giving you ladies inside information. So if you ever get with a hopeless romantic guy, you know, the hopeless romantic man, you know how to take care of him. Because we are also high maintenance. Hopeless romantic men are high maintenance. So we're going to be structuring, doing a lot to help you ladies learn how to take care of your hopeless romantic. And at the same time, we're also going to be in this brand new series. There are a few of you hopeless romantics in the Maverick Nation and passerbyers of the Prince Magnum channel. It's going to be very well structured for you guys too. Okay, so because I know a lot of you the guys that do watch, really your real interest is in the cars or working on something, you know, maybe history, you know, the video game stuff. You're not really interested in romance, but for the ladies, they're the ones that really are. So for the hopeless romantic men of the Maverick Nation and our Lady Mavericks, this series is for you gals. You know, this series is for you guys. You know, specifically. The Lady Mavericks that love romance. And, of course, the hopeless romantic men in the Maverick Nation. And, of course, the lovely lady that has entered my life and kind of given me, you know, I guess you could say she's the one who's really urging me to go ahead and start this romance series again. You know, to start a brand new romance series. So, I think I pretty well covered it all in this introduction video, except for one little particular thing. I know there's been one content creator that did have a question. He had, you know, how did I come to the conclusion that I was the first in the world with hot rodding and romance? And I'm not going to, you know, this is not obviously a bash because this is, you know, the person in question, their skills as far as like they weren't there when we started looking into this, and they weren't there. So obviously, I mean, I could tell you all day long, but you'll have resources to work with, reputable resources, because there's two resources that I would definitely recommend going forward. You know, so you have something to work with. There was a grand total of 4 of us that came together because it was one day, and ironically enough, the same estranged wife. One day when I kept saying, you know that, you know, I was talking about, you know, the next romance video, and I had to do a car video, and she says, you know, I believe you're the first in the world that's doing custom cars and romance together. You're the first one. The hot rodding and romance, I believe you're the first in the world. The estranged wife said this. Now, normally at this day and age, I wouldn't put too much stock in anything she says. You know, a lot of addicts will lie to you. But she's the one that kind of kicked it off. And I presented it to 2 other content creators, much bigger content creators. One of them was bigger than me at one point in time, but I grew past him. The other one, I mean, this is her thing, okay? You know, she's very heavily involved in media. And the two content creators that I would definitely suggest if you want to approach them is Jammin' John of Sketch Squad TV, who everyone knows Jammin' John. We raided his channel one day, and he started literally jamming on guitar for everyone. And of course the other one, our dear lovely lady in the Maverick Nation, and Spaz Baby. I mean, she was one of the ones that did the investigating all the way back in 2019 when this kind of was brought to my attention by my estranged wife. So between the four of us, we looked, and after 6 months of looking, you know, I looked at my estranged wife and I said, well, what do you think? And she says, you earned it, claim it. So that's why for years you've all heard me say, I'm the first content creator in the world doing custom cars and romance together, somebody called Guinness, the Guinness World Book of Records, which I probably should actually look into that. But anyhow, there was one who came very close, and we'll talk more about that later, but there was one who actually came close, but he never capitalized on it. And I mean, you could say in a way he inspired me. Alrighty, but that does bring us to the usual spot. As I like to sometimes say these days, it's time to pay the bills. Get over to Teespring, check out all the merchandise, and now with this series we may have to actually include some brand new merchandise. And of course, last but not least, get over to Patreon. $1 a month goes back into the Prince Magnum channel. And all proceeds go into all of the DIY projects, including the project cars. Alrighty. And so now that we've paid the bills, I get to remind all of you, get out there and work on a project. Don't care what it is, just do something with yourselves. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet and do something special for them today. And as always, for every last one of you out there, if no one out there has told you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you, and have a happy 24. Thank you. Aircraft remover.